Hello and welcome to Theatre.Reviews with Paul Severn. I'm here at the Playhouse Theatre, or should that be the KitKat Club, to see Cabaret. I'm about to enter through the stage door. It's taken me 4 years to get round to seeing Cabaret at the KitKat Club, the venue formerly known as the Playhouse. The original stars of Rebecca Frecknall's production, Eddie Redmayne and Jessie Buckley, have long gone, and indeed many other pairs have played the Emcee and Sally Bowles in the intervening years. Even Madge and Hannah Dodd, who I just saw, have now left. I can confirm that Cabaret at the KitKat Club is still probably the best show in London's West End. It's not, I believe, the best production of Cabaret ever mounted, but it's close. Keep watching and I'll tell you all about it, what makes it so very good, whoever the stars are, and why it doesn't quite reach the heights of what I and many others consider to be the definitive production of Cabaret. Anyway, I'm Paul Severn Lewis. I regularly review theatre shows on YouTube, usually newer ones than this, as well as on my website, Theatre.Reviews, where you can also find my roundups of other critics' reviews. Please take the opportunity to comment, like and subscribe to this channel. So, Rebecca Frecknall isn't the first director to come up with the idea of turning the whole theatre into the KitKat Club, that being the name of the venue where the cabaret part of the musical takes place. I saw a production in Berlin back in 2018 that did just that. And most famously, and possibly the first to do it, was Sam Mendes' definitive production of Cabaret at the Donmar Warehouse back in 1993, and subsequently on Broadway. But I doubt anyone has done it with such complete dedication and thoroughness as Rebecca Frecknall. You, the audience, are invited to get to the theatre an hour or more before the show begins. Even outside, the old Playhouse has been rebranded the KitKat Club. You enter through the stage door and go straight into the basement. And normally, this is the secret home of dressing rooms. But you go through a main corridor which has been changed into a bar area with subdued lighting and performers playing music and generally standing around looking somewhat debauched. The signage is in English and German. Oh, and you're offered a free shot of schnapps. So from the start, you are immersed in the decadence of Berlin's hedonistic nightlife in the 1920s and early 30s. Then it's up the stairs to another bar where musicians and dancers dressed as if from a down-market cousin of Victoria's Secret and of indeterminate genders entertain in the sultry style of the Jazz Age. And so into the main house. Now the first shock is that the seating and layout of the old Playhouse has been completely ripped out. Instead of a proscenium arch stage and straight rows of seats facing it, there's a surprisingly small circular stage area in the middle of the auditorium, with the audience on two sides, traverse style. Tables and chairs are in the immediate areas on either side of the stage, and these are very expensive, by the way, and that's probably what's given the show its reputation for being high-priced. Beyond them are much more reasonably priced rows of seats, which are curved, thus adding to the feeling of intimacy. My row, which was G, is about 6 from the front, had a great rake and fantastic legroom, and even a shelf for drinks. There are similarities here with the Mendes Donmar production. It too utilised a small bare stage with some of the audience sitting at tables in front of it. But in this production, we are all in the KitKat Club, circa 1929. This is total theatre that couldn't be anything else but theatre. And special credit here to Tom Scutt's set and costume design. The dancing and playing of instruments continues as we wait for the show to begin. Our MC is Rob Madge. Now the competition here is not Eddie Redmayne, but the Donmar Productions' unsurpassable Alan Cumming, whose face, especially his eyes, conveyed everything from mischief to pathos to bathos. But Rob Madge is fabulous in the form of a threatening clown. It's a part that can be played more sympathetically, but clearly Rebecca Frecknall has chosen to go with the leave your troubles outside cue and makes him lascivious, waspish, amoral and apolitical. When he sings I Don't Care Much in the second act, a song you won't recognise if you only know the movie, there's no bravado, no irony. He really doesn't seem to care. Interestingly, when Hal Prince first put together this musical in 1966, the MC character was there just to hold the show together. He wasn't considered a major character. Joel Grey and the audience's reaction to him changed all that. Now he's the conduit between us and the stories that we're going to be told. Because he's our guide, and this is theatre where the relationship between each other and those on stage forms a unique bond, we're carried along by the fun of the cabaret, and we become onlookers at the world outside the club. This is Theatre.Reviews with Paul Seven. Please like, comment and subscribe to this channel, but also visit my website, Theatre.Reviews, for my reviews and my roundups of other critics' reviews. Plus, I give you the show's average ratings and whether they're good or poor value. Now keep watching and I'll tell you more about why Cabaret at the KitKat Club is probably the best show in the West End and why it's not the best ever production of Cabaret. This world outside is where we meet the gay or maybe bisexual American writer Cliff. A sensitive performance from Daniel Bowerbank when I saw it. He becomes friendly with someone who turns out to be a Nazi called Ernst and a nightclub singer called Sally Bowles, with whom he falls in love. Well, more of her later. But first, the other love story. Cliff's landlady, Fraulein Schneider, falls in love with a Jewish fruiterer called Herr Schultz. It's a delicate romance between two lonely people in their autumn years. Touchingly conveyed by Vivien, Parry and Fenton at the performance I went to. Their songs, It Couldn't Please Me More and What Would You Do, tug at the heartstrings. But their relationship is broken up by the Nazis in a startling jolt back to reality at the end of Act 1. Now, these stories are taking place on the same bare stage that's the focal point of the KitKat Club, so we can quickly segue back to the cabaret songs, which are a commentary on the stories. The MC sings and performs Two Ladies, parodying Cliff's bisexuality. We hear the stirring Tomorrow Belongs to Me quite early on, showing the apparently innocent but faintly sinister appeal of patriotism that will drive the Nazi campaign. And If You Could See Her, it's the guerrilla song, exposes the way the Nazis portray the Jews as subhuman. The score by Kander and Ebb is one of the best of all musicals, with its evocation of the period, its use as exposition of character and plot, and its commentary on the action. There are so many great songs, but two of the best are sung by Sally Bowles. Now, I wasn't sure about the jolly hockey sticks voice adopted by Hannah Dodd. Perhaps Sally, who puts on an act most of the time, is supposed to be pretending to speak like the high society of the period. Or perhaps she's simply a product of a 1920s finishing school. Anyway, Ms. Dodd came into her own with the songs. Maybe this time first performed in the 1972 movie, but now an integral part of the stage show, tells us how on edge Sally is, desperate for love, but also desperate to be something that this naive English girl really isn't, a hedonistic showbiz star. Her life is a vitreous performance that could shatter at any moment, as it eventually does. By the time we reach the climactic singing of the song Cabaret, she has fallen apart and hardly believes the sentiment of her late debauched friend Elsie, that life is or should be a cabaret. She sees the mess of her own life and the way her idealised Berlin has succumbed to a violent political group that won't live and let live. The song is sung with anger and despair, not at all like the defiant Liza Minnelli version. Going back a little, the second act sees the greatest divergence from Sam Mendes' production. In his version, the KitKat Club carries on in its own blinkered way right to the end, ignoring or mocking the Nazis until it is destroyed by them in a shattering finale. In Rebecca Frecknall's interpretation, the Nazi style gradually infiltrates the club. The costumes become bland, sandy-coloured suits, reflecting the Nazis' uniform brown shirts. We continue to be entertained, but now, looked at objectively, we're applauding, or at least being complicit, in the rise of Hitler. Either way works, and although I prefer the shock of Sam Mendes' approach, the result is the same. A stark warning by the writer of the musical's book, Joe Masteroff, and its composers John Kander and Fred Ebb, against standing by and ignoring the rise of racist, authoritarian politicians using the banner of patriotism. It is a paradox. Maybe you're meant to feel guilty that you've enjoyed yourself so much while this regime was being constructed around you, but then again, it is an evening of theatrical entertainment that's, well, probably unsurpassed in the West End today. I give Cabaret at the KitKat Club 4 stars. And if you'd like a flavour of the Sam Mendes production, there is a slightly blurry film of it made for television that is available on YouTube. Now please, do like, comment and subscribe to this channel if you want to be the first to know about my future reviews. And visit my website, Theatre.Reviews, where you'll find my reviews and my roundups of other critics' reviews. And of course you can find me on social media like Mastodon, Threads and Blue Sky. Oh, and Instagram. Thank you for watching.